a lot of people will come in and say, Dr. Daitch, I know you work with anxiety and I also know you do hypnosis, but I'm way too nervous to do hypnosis, so I won't be a good subject. And I said, well, you might not be, but most anxious people have higher than average hypnotizability. They're often in what we call in the gifted track. And you know why? And they'll say why. And I'll say, well, to be a good hypnotic subject, one of the most important things is that you have a good imagination. And I bet you have a really good imagination. I bet you can imagine everything that can go wrong in great detail, and they let you breathe. And then I say, in order to be a good hypnotic subject, you need to be sensitive to your body. And most people with anxiety are actually too sensitive to their bodies. They get somatic symptoms. You know, many of them get stomach aches or headaches, or they notice a muscle ache. And not only that, sometimes they get too focused on those somatic sensations. And then the last reason that people with anxiety are really good subjects is, in order to be a good subject, you have to have focused attention. And I bet you can focus very narrowly on what is bothering you. So narrowly that maybe it's hard to think about anything else. And that ability to focus attention, you know, not everybody has it, but you do. And so you might be one of the first people I've worked with who has anxiety, who's not a good subject. But let's give it a try. I predict you will. And in general, by the second session, sometimes the first, they're a little skittish. They have that watchman. Of course, you need to go through the myths and misconceptions that they're in control. They can change my words to your words and so on. But usually by the second session, they say something like, you know, I've never been this relaxed in my life. But for a really anxious person, and this has to do with people with trauma. Sometimes people who have PTSD will go too deeply and then they will come out. And for those people, I'll say, well, you just lift your hand if we're going too deeply. And then I'll slow it down so they feel in control.